So let's switch it up a bit. We've been talking about UFC. One of the people that I've been studying up on here recently, I mean, I didn't follow amateur wrestling much, but I love it and I love the sport. And one name that always seems to pop up is Aleksandr Karelin. Talk about him, Dan Severn. Just how dominant of a wrestler was Aleksandr Karelin?
Oh, he was a freak. I mean, he was a freak in a sense of just a physical specimen, and just the way he was put together, stuff like that. But talk about a game face. He's got one of those kind of game faces that I think you could just take a picture, and just post it around your property. It's like you don't have to put down no trespass. You just post this picture around your property, right? Like, oh my God. don't go with that person's house. But he had freakish type of strength, because he didn't. When he liked to throw his opponents, and he was good about if a wrestler bellied out onto the ground, because they're trying not to be turned. But he was so powerful that he could grab guys around that waist and just hook it on the two hip bones right there, and he'd lift them up, and then as they're floating up higher, he could actually grab right around their waist. And then would pick them up and start backpedaling, and then would actually start to lift them to throw. But most people would just launch and just throw. He'd always take them up so high and then crash them right on top of their head. I mean, literally, I think he was looking to impale them like driving post, like a post home driver, right into the ground. I mean, but that's where you will actually find footage where wrestlers rolled onto their back and allowed him just to pin them early on, knowing that they can't beat him, and they're going to come back and fight for the bronze.
How much
skill? That's powerful, Eric. I mean, that's powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Know that people, pin me, I'll come back and fight for the bronze. I can't beat you for the gold. And I don't, so, but, I'll fight back for the bronze.
I mean, how much skill and determination did that guy have to have the longevity that he did in amateur wrestling?
Well, again, how long did it go for? That's where it's like, did you know offhand?
I will look it up.
He was just a freak. I mean, I did get a chance to meet him at one point in time. Actually, I shook his hand. I'm trying to think at an event where it was the Russians that would make a tour through, and
so Dan Aleksandr was a wrestler for Russia from 1987 all the way up until the year 2000. So what's that, about 4 different Olympics?
Yeah, he had an incredible career. He achieved a lot of success. I kind of like to know what else what else was he doing other than just being a competitor. But see, a lot of people understand in the country of Russia, there weren't many jobs to do. You were either in the military, or working at the Gulag, or it wasn't good just to be a normal civilian. So athletics, there was a great push for athleticism with Russia in all sports, especially if you could win the things. And when it came to the sport of wrestling, if you could be a world champion, you could be an Olympic champion, you got compensated for that. I mean, so you got to realize the athletic program in Russia was totally different than like an athletic program in the United States. At that time, you had to be an amateur, which means you were poor. You didn't have endorsements. You could not you could not get sponsorships. There was no endorsements. You were like most America's superstars. We were poor. It's only until if you went to the Olympic Games that I use like a Bruce Jenner. The fact that now you have a box of Wheaties, you got all these endorsements and stuff like that. That from your post-career, because you didn't have them during your career itself.
So Dan, I was right. Karelin won gold medals in 88, 92, 96, and then he got the silver medal at the 2000. So he was in 4 different Olympics, and his wrestling record was 887 wins and 2 losses, and both losses were by a single point.
The
That
one,
is
the one that the last one you talked about was again because he's a Greco-Roman wrestler. That's when the American wrestler beat him. Why can't I come up with his name here right off the head? But it's from a mere technicality because what happened was they want you to grip in case of a stalemate type of a match. You have to. They allow one of the wrestlers to get a grip. And then if you should break a grip, and all it was Karelin just simply just released his hand and just gripped back the other way, and that was the 1 point. But he lost to the American.
Rulon Gardner.
Yeah, again, I don't want to take nothing away from Rulon, but was Rulon in the category of him? Oh, no, by no means. And that's what it was. But Rulon, again. It just a mere technicality that they came up with at the time. But again, that's Rulon has been in social media a lot of different ways, but he also was on The Biggest Loser. There's that reality show, The Biggest Loser, because he actually even put on more weight going into The Biggest Loser, because then being a wrestler, he knows how to take it off. He knows how to take it off quickly. He ended up winning The Biggest Loser. So that might be somebody else we might want to get on there just for a more comical type of aspect there, because see the guy that was an amateur wrestler who actually put on more weight goes into The Biggest Loser reality show and then wins it by losing all this weight.